and Chris Andersen. We got a 10-3 versus 11-2. Bowman, if he wins out, he'll be able to make the top 8. Chris Andersen, if he wins this match, he should be good to go to draw next round. So we're going to watch it break down. Then we'll have our metagame breakdown for you guys at the end of this round, as here's an Aether Vial for Adam Bowman off of Munivault. Welcome to round number 14.
And you see Plating and Ravager already in Chris's hands. So
he's got payoffs, huh?
Yep. We'll see if he can handle. We'll see if Bowman here can handle one of Andersen's best punches.
Vault Scourge. And now we head back over to Bowman. Bowman's got his Vial on 1. Now here's a Sliver Hive. And a Sinew Sliver. So he's doing his thing, and he's got a Gale Rider Sliver in hand.
Oh, this could be a really good Aether Vial blowout.
There's an attack. Excuse me, there's a Ravager. Now here's an attack. Get him. Yeah. Block.
Yeah. I mean, good for Chris that he played the Ravager before combat. This could be way worse.
Yep. He's just going to let it go. Okay, never. Oh, you're not sacrifice? Oh, wow. He didn't sacrifice. That is a mistake. Here come the beatdowns in the air. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Follow-up is a Vial. Pass the turn back.
Okay.
That is a big mistake. Hey, you said it was going to involve Gale Rider Sliver, and it certainly is right now. Now, Bowman, he's sort of out of gas. He's got a Vial in hand, and then he's got a Collector Company, but he doesn't have the next land for the Collector Company. So, sort of, kind of out of gas.
But even if he whiffs, he's still got Mutavault. So
yes.
If he draws a spell, that's great. If he draws a land, then he can Collect a Company, and that's very good as well.
Oh, those tricky slivers. Worker comes down. Ravager going to come across for at least 1 point of damage. Looks like it's only going to be 1. Well, let's make it 3.
Yeah, Chris has got to find a way to kill in the next 2 turns. He can't really try to build up his board and do finish shenanigans. We're looking at a pure race right now.
A Vial going to go up to 3. Other one's up to 1. A lot of good draws available here for Adam. A land might be the best of the bunch. I think he just found one, and he did. I like to collect a company main phase. Now, his collector companies have been pretty bad, but this one could be pretty good. Take a look at the top 6. Predatory and Necrotic. That'll work just fine.
Necrotic Sliver is also pretty bad news here for Andersen, as that will shut down any sort of Ravager to work around your blocker sort of kill.
Yep.
And now Chris is looking at dying next turn.
And Chris is not doing well against Flyers right now. His deck typically does quite well against Flyers, but not in this game.
Not this many. Not without Hangerback Walker.
Yep.
Normally his deck's good against, a Flyer, but Bowman has, I'm counting 4 and 5 if you count the Mutavault.
I'll count the Mutavault. We could say 5. He's got 4 copies of Gale Rider Sliver for a reason.
Oh. And the problem now is that Andersen is being pulled in 2 directions. On one side, he kind of needs to get Bowman to mess up in combat somehow. And to do that, he needs to pass the turn. The other issue in the other direction is if he passes the turn, suddenly Bowman has Necrotic Sliver up, and there's only so bad he can mess up.
Yeah, that's horrible news.
Yeah. So Andersen kind of needs to pass the turn, but he also kind of needs to do something now.
I'm not sure what that something now is going to be. Well, here's an Arcbound Ravager. So that's a start.
The problem is that this is also just all on the ground.
Yep.
So before blocks, Andersen has to probably Shrapnel Blast the Gale Rider Sliver to be able to do anything with the Ravagers, or he's moving the counters onto the Nexus that's available. But at that point, the Necrotic Sliver is really hard to beat.
And Adam just drew another copy of Gale Rider Sliver too. That might just be the lock.
Yeah, this might be too much.
Yeah, and he's going to concede immediately. So Adam Bowman's going to win this game over Chris Andersen. Sliver is up a game over Affinity as we get ready for the sideboarded game. And we're going to take a look at Chris Andersen's sideboard, see if he's, it's a weird thing to say, have any hate against Sliver's deck.
2 Girapar Aether Grids, 2 Spellskites, a Nature's Claim, 3 Etched Champions, 2 Whip Flares, 2 Ancient Grudge, 3 Spell Pierce, this seems like a good matchup for Whip Flare. I also like Edge Champion just fine. It's not very good against Gale Rider's Sliver, but if Bowman is without that card or Andersen can kill it, then it's very effective at locking up the ground.
On the other side of things, we've got a real motley crew. 2 copies of Bone Slice Sliver, 2 Siphon Sliver, 2 Telekinetic Sliver, 2 more copies of Abrupt Decay, a Dark Art Sliver, 2 Sliver Hive Lords, a Shadow Sliver, and most importantly, 3 Harmonic Slivers.
So I like the Harmonic Slivers, I like the Shadow Sliver, and I like the Dark Heart Sliver. They all seem reasonable for this kind of matchup, and I think you want to go up to 4 copies of Abrupt Decay.
Yeah, Abrupt Decay's got to be pretty good here.
In this matchup, I would consider cutting the Collected Companies. They're a little bit on the slow side, and you need to keep a certain critical mass of slivers in the deck to, you know, make the slivers work. So I would strongly consider cutting Collected Company.
A little slow.
I think it's a little slow. It was pretty good that game.
Yep.
But, you know, Andersen Straw was a little bit on the slow side, and Bowman really got on the front foot with his opening, and that's not going to happen that frequently, especially when Chris is on the play.
You also just don't know what you're getting with Collected Company, too, which, I mean, it's good and bad. Like, that one was good, but with the other 2 times we've seen Adam cast it, it was really bad.
Yeah, you're in with Merfolk, for example, if you had Collected Company in your deck, you have a much flatter range of what you're getting, because it's just a bunch of lords. They all kind of do the same thing. Since Bowman, some are lords and some are not, some have text boxes that don't matter all the time. The second copy of a lot of his slivers don't do anything. His Collected Companies are a little bit less consistent than they are in some other decks, and I feel in matchups that are about speed, Bowman should feel comfortable getting away from that card.
These players will shuffle up here for game number 2. We will talk about the Season 4 schedule here with the Open Series. We're kicking it off here in Cincinnati with a little Modern action. Next weekend, we're going to Worcester for Standard.
And after that, we're Standard in Milwaukee. We're going to take a week off for the Battle of Zendikar pre-release, and then we're in Indianapolis, week 1 of Standard, October 3rd and 4th. After that, we head to Atlanta. Legacy will be in St. Louis, then a Modern Open Series in Dallas, Standard in Philadelphia. After that, Grand Prix Atlanta, which will be sealed November 13th through the 15th. More information about that event as we get a little bit closer. A Standard Open in Kansas City, Legacy in New Jersey, Standard in Denver, and then the Season 4 Invitational, Las Vegas, Nevada. Standard and Modern as the invitational formats with a 2-day $20,000 Standard Open Series event, December 11th through 13th, and then the Players Championship, Roanoke, Virginia, Star City Games headquarters, December 19th and 20th to close out the year.
All those events, we'll have our fantastic playmat. Hoppin' Rabbit Master, giving the beatdowns with carrots and bombs. That'll be available to everyone who enters our main event. Free, easy, just enter until December 5th, and you get one of these.
Yeah, all the 2-day $20,000 Open Series events running through Denver will come with this playmat, free of charge when you register.
Game number 2 here between Adam Bowman and Chris Andersen about to be underway. We got Slivers, we got Affinity. You see Todd Andersen there in the background playing a match behind Chris Andersen. He's already locked for top 8. Chris, with a win here, will be locked as well. We've also got Eric Hawkins playing for top 8 here. So we're starting to round out those people who will be playing in our elimination rounds here later this evening. For now, Chris Andersen going to take a look at his opening hand. Looks like he's going to keep. He's got a Darksteel Citadel and Arcbound Worker past the turn back. He's always got that worker, man.
Put in work. Two
Only
copies.
2 copies. Always has it. There's a vial. Andersen will draw. See if he's got some of the payoff cards. I see Steel Overseer. I actually see 2 copies of Steel Overseer. That's a good place to be.
And Steel Overseer seems excellent against Bowman's deck.
Yeah.
He does not have a lot of removal. The game is a lot about who's winning in combat, and Steel Overseer is very, very good in those kind of matchups.
A vial moving up to 1. And Bowman does have a copy of Overgrown Tomb. So colored mana is something he has. He'll have to pay 2. And now here's Predatory Sliver. We're going to head back Chris Andersen's way. Picked up a copy of Signal Pest. Also has a copy of Whip Flare in hand.
No red mana, though.
Yep. Looks like it might be time for another Overseer, and it is. Now it might be time to deploy that Signal Pest and then pump up the squad. One of the things about Affinity is if the Steel Overseer gets to activate once, maybe even twice, you're not coming back.
No, not in matchups where you don't have something. You know, if you have something like Damnation or you're killing really fast, that's one thing. But I think Bowman's going to really struggle to keep up in this game.
Yeah. This gets ugly, and it gets ugly fast. So counters everywhere here from the Overseer. A little bit of damage dealt. Now we go back Bowman's way. Vial up to 2. Cavernous Souls looks like it was the draw. That'll come down. Named Sliver, of course. Here's a Blur Sliver. It's a 3-3 haster. This is a much more modest draw here for Adam.
The blurred sliver on defense moment, not going to be a good sign here.
Yeah. Ornithopter off the top here for Chris. Blinkmoth Nexus is going to go active. Looks like we got a lot of creatures attacking and some Steel Overseers activating.
And Andersen's going wide enough here that even if Bowman found Harmonic Sliver, that would just not be enough here.
Ain't going to do it this game. That's for darn sure. Going to take a lot more than Harmonic Sliver here. And Chris feeling pretty good about how things are this game, and I would be too. We don't get to see Steel Overseer games a lot because Steel Overseer dies a lot. Lightning Bolt is a removable spell in the format, many others as well. But when you get to have a Steel Overseer game with this deck, it's definitely easy mode.
Yeah. It's very rare because most of the decks that can't kill Steel Overseer are trying to kill you really fast.
Yeah.
So it's rare to see this happen. It still steals wins here and there against the Bold Abrupt Decay decks because they don't always have it, but we have not seen this in a long time.
Yeah, this is a lot of damage. Adam Bowman might get one more draw step, and it's not like he has anything like Creeping Corrosion,
Yeah.
Shatter Storm, something like that to get him out of this. He doesn't have anything like that in his deck. So this might be the recipe for Chris in the next game.
Yes.
Potentially.
And Bowman still would collect a company in hand. And you know, I expressed my concerns about this card, the matchup potentially being too fast. And here we are with Bowman at 3.
It's going to take a lot more than 2 creatures to catch up. That's for sure. Even 2 Harmonic Slivers wouldn't be good enough right now.
And it's the reason I wouldn't even collect a company, because I don't want to reveal Harmonic Sliver. It's potentially very powerful in the matchup.
Yep.
And if I'm Bowman here, there's nothing to be gained here. We're done.
I can see a little bit of info. Maybe Harmonic Sliver isn't something that's on the top of Chris's mind.
I mean, certainly Gale Rider Sliver wasn't.
That's true.
You don't. And a lot of these cards I'm seeing in Constructed for the first time. So for Bowman especially, I think there's a lot of value in just keeping things under wraps.
Well, he's certainly thinking about the turn here. He's got a Mana Sliver in hand. You mentioned Collected Company. I think he's trying to think of what I could hit with Collected Company at this point. And again, I think that double Harmonic is his best hit.
Yeah.
And even still, I don't think that's good enough.
It's double Harmonic, or I guess Harmonic and Dark Heart, and neither of those are even close.
Yeah. Looks like Glimmer Void the draw for Chris. He'll fire up Blinkmoth Nexus. Party time. We're going to get a Collected Company. And that'll take a look at the top 6 cards. Some Gale Rider action there. Not even going to reveal. Nothing helpful. So, Chris Andersen going to very easily win game number 2 here over Adam Bowman. Affinity and Slivers will get ready for a third one here.
So far, we've seen 2 very powerful draws from the player on the play.
Yep.
And the player on the draw not really able to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes, I suppose. But, I mean, this might be a draw-dependent matchup. Very swingy.
Yeah. And I think, like I said before, I think Chris has got the better end of it. I don't know if Bowman has enough answers to Andersen's very powerful trumps in the matchup, like Ravager and Cranial Plating, but being on a play is a huge deal. And it's not like Andersen can get Harmonic Sliver off the table that easily, and it's not just a Viridian Shaman in the matchup. If it sticks, everything Bowman produces is really powerful.
Yeah. Well, while these players do sideboard up here for game number 3, we will talk about Star City game. Actually, no, we'll talk about Star City Games game night.
Sure.
Excuse me. We will talk about the very popular promotion, thanks to you guys at home for playing in it. Some fun, friendly, casual play. I think maybe the Kraken's a pretty big reason.
Yeah, you can head over to your local store, head over to starcitygames.com/GameNight for more information. Find the game night closest to you. We send out new kits every month. We do pins and tokens. We're in September. We're giving out the Kraken. October coming right down the pipeline here. We have the Hippo available. Too late to get signed up for October, but if you want to get signed up for November, releasing this token, announcing it today, the Otter. Head over to starcitygames.com/GameNight for more information, or contact your Star City Games organized play representative.
Otter von Bismarck.
Otter von Bismarck.
Can't wait for the December promo. You're going to love it.
I haven't seen it.
I already know what it is. You're going to love it.
Okay.
Trust me. The naming part of it will be difficult, but loving it, so easy. It's so easy. Adam Bowman really been a story of this tournament. Chris Andersen too. Chris was our lone undefeated player after day number 1 with Affinity. Adam Bowman 8-1 on day 1. His only loss came to getting to the tournament late. So he went 8-0 in matches played. So these two have really been killing it this weekend. Bowman picked up a couple losses today. We saw him lose to Eric Hawkins.
Yeah, one off camera and one to Eric Hawkins playing Chris's twin.
This is a big match for both players here. One final game to be had. It looks like Chris is going to take a mulligan, not what the doctor ordered.
And even for as well as Chris has done throughout this tournament, and as you said, are lone undefeated, it's tough to make top 8s when it's 12-3.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And a loss here, and he has a win in next round.
Yeah. No, it's not easy.
No, these long tournaments are, you can spend the whole weekend, it feels like, just winning the whole time in 2 or 3 bad rounds, and you're a top 16.
It all comes crumbling down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Chris is going to take a look at 6 cards here. Curious what Adam's hand is. Can't wait to find out. There's a lot of things that deck can do.
Turn 1 Vial.
Huge.
Huge for this matchup.
Chris is going to keep. Adam's got the Vial again. Big deal there.
Yep.
Chris has a Darksteel Citadel. Looks like Signal Pest. Now, Chris has his trump card, too. He's got a copy of Whip Flare. There's Signal Pest.
But again, he's without red mana.
Yep.
And Whip Flare falls off the table pretty fast against Bowman because once he gets his Lords assembled, it's just not worth all that much.
Yep. There's the first Lord. It's Predatory Sliver. Darksteel Citadel. Into maybe Arcbound Ravager, also Hangerback Walker over there. Looks like it's going to be Hangerback Walker once you get that established first.
Yep.
A Vial moving on up to 2 counters. There's another Cavern of Souls naming Sliver. Sedge Sliver in hand, though no swamps. And looks like Adam might just be passing the turn. Wow.
That is surprising.
What's
Looked
going
like,
on over there?
looked like he had something to cast.
Yeah. See what we got here for Chris. All right, there's Arcbound Ravager.
You look at last turn also, if Bowman has Harmonic Sliver, you can see why it's so much trouble.
Yep.
Harmonic Sliver, Vial something in. Chris is without his 2 best permanents,
Yeah.
and it gets worse from there.
Yep. Time to Vial. Mana Weft Sliver.
Oh, ho, ho.
Collected Company. Oh.
Now I get it.
Oh, he knows how his deck works.
Never mind.
Yeah. What did he find?
Come on, Harmonic Necrotic.
You're horrible. Not a great spot to be in.
This is, I mean, Chris knows this could be real bad.
There's Necrotic, and there's Predatory. All right.
Could have been way worse.
Oh, yeah.
And Hangerback Walker gives him a lot of play against Necrotic Sliver.
I mean, it could still be really bad. Sedge Sliver, Sinew Sliver in hand.
No swamp, though.
Yeah. I think maybe Shadow Sliver over there, too.
And he's got a lot of mana also. Remember, the Mana Weft Sliver, he can cast whatever.
He can do anything he wants. A lot of mana and every color of mana. And that Whip Flare is just off the table.
Yeah, that's done. The Sneaky Collected Company is one of my favorite elements of this deck. And there's a lot of competition for what my favorite elements of this deck is.
Yeah, that one's right up there. There's Sinew. Beatdowns might be good to go here.
I mean, I would prefer for Bowman to make an Alpha Strike in a spot where he has access to Necrotic Sliver. This might be good enough.
Looks like Necrotic's going to come in. So is Predatory.
He can still leave 3 mana up because of the Mana Weft Sliver.
Uh-huh.
So he still has access to Necrotic Sliver.
Chris is not enjoying himself right now.
All right, your tournament's on the line. You're playing against a sea of cards you've never seen before. Make your blocks.
So it's your turn then.
And your opponent has a Vial on 3, and who knows what that means.
Yeah, no idea.
That could be anything.
Yeah. Could be a real card, could be a fake card. Literally no clue what to play around.
Oh, and this is a real clock, too. You can't just hang back and wait for a better spot. And you can see Chris had cranial plating in his hand. He had a really good path this game.
He had that and whip flare. He had a great start.
Just hangs back with hanger back walker for a while. Eventually sacks to the Ravager, makes a sea of tokens. Cranial plating goes on one of the Thopters. You have a path to win.
So Chris is going to eat his Darksteel Citadel. Dump these counters on a hangerback walker. Hangerback walker ready to try to trade with that predatory sliver.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see Bowman pull out of combat here, sacrifice the predatory sliver that's being blocked to take care of something like Signal Pass or one of the lands.
Yep. And the follow-up there, so I believe that's Siphon Sliver?
Sure, whatever.
I believe that gives your guys lifelink.
And I know we're obviously having some fun here covering this match. Bowman's been sharp.
He knows how to play this deck.
He knows how to play this deck.
He knows exactly what he's doing over there.
And Andersen's about to get locked up here. He's going to lose all of his mana.
Now, he might be good just to attack with everything now.
I went up to Bowman after the round he lost to Hawkins and said, I think you needed to, cast the Collected Company before combat. And he's like, I had no mixture of cards that was lethal. I needed to mess up. He just had already,
Yep. He's ready to go. I think he just drew another Collected Company, by the way.
Sure.
I think he's trying to figure out if he can just kill him this turn. I take that back. I think the last card now in hand is, we know he's got Sedge Sliver, no Swamp right now. Yeah, and that's the last card in hand. So not Collected Company. I believe it's just a land.
The complexity here is just how much mana does he want to leave available? I feel like he wants to leave 3 mana back to be safe. Because in that world, he's able to Alpha Strike anything Hangerback Walker goes in front of. He sacks to blow up the land, and he prevents the Hangerback Walker from exploding and being able to block a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it prevents it from being annoying.
I think that Bowman just wants to keep Chris pinned on mana. He wants to prevent him from sacrificing Hangerback Walker.
Yeah, he's just going to pass the turn. Yep, and Chris just has to pass the turn back. So,
oh my God, we're doing this.
He gets to hive him now.
He's got hive plus necrotic sliver. This is
yeah. That's I think that really just says it all.
There we go. That's just summed up.
That just sums up the entire match.
This is I think Chris is actually locked now.
Mutavault's going to fire up. Yeah, and he's going to extend that. Adam Bowman's going to win this match here over Chris Andersen, 2-1. Slivers is going to take down Affinity. Chris Anderson's going to move down to 11-3. Adam Bowman's going to move up to 11-3. Both will be playing for top 8 next round.
Bowman beat him straight up in the games he won. Chris had real hands. He had Ravager and Plating, I think, in both games that he lost.
Bowman never drew Harmonic.
Never drew Harmonic Sliver. And Bowman just kind of beat him. That was really impressive.
Yeah, that's about as straight up as it gets.
Yeah, that was.